Emma Whitmore Harrington was 42 the morning her marriage was murdered in a sun-drenched parlor in Greenwich, Connecticut. She had come down the curved staircase in a pale linen dress holding a Tiffany blue envelope, a $100,000 birthday donation to a children's hospital made in the name of her husband, Alexander Xander Harrington. Xander loved looking benevolent on Instagram almost as much as he loved the idea of one day sitting in the United States Senate. Emma had chosen the charity herself, the same way she chose everything in their life, quietly, perfectly, invisibly. The house smelled of peonies and the private chef's lemon ricotta pancakes. Xander was 35, blonde, patrician, the golden boy of Connecticut politics. 7 years younger than his wife, he had married the Whitmore fortune and never let anyone forget who had really won the lottery. Emma heard the voices before she reached the dining room. "That fat cow still disgusts me, Mother. Do you think I actually enjoy touching her? I married the bank account, not the body." Caroline Harrington's reply was cool amusement. "Keep smiling for the cameras, darling. Pretend until the trust vests fully in your name. Then we arrange something quiet. Rich widows have accidents every day." Emma's breath stopped. The envelope drifted from her fingers and landed soundlessly on the marble. She did not cry. She simply turned, climbed the stairs without a sound, and closed the bedroom door. That night, she smiled through dinner, handed Xander the vintage Patek Philippe he had been coveting, and laughed when Caroline suggested she try her new Miracle Trainer in Palm Beach. Inside, something ancient and furious woke up. At 2:14 a.m., while Xander slept off a bottle of 1982 Chateau de Yam, Emma walked barefoot through the house that had never been a home. She touched the Rothko she had bought at Sotheby's, the Baccarat chandeliers, the Steinway no one played. Every object felt like a prop in a play she had been forced to perform for a decade. In the library, she wrote one line on heavy cream crane stationery: "Thank you for showing your true colors." She signed nothing. By 5:30 a.m., the mansion was sold to a Russian oligarch who paid cash and asked no questions. By 5:45, her entire 9-figure inheritance, earned, unearned, and old as the Mayflower, was moving through numbered accounts in Zurich, Singapore, and Guernsey. By 6 a.m., she was gone, wearing jeans, an old Dartmouth hoodie, and a long camel coat. In her backpack, passport, cash, burner phone, the photograph of herself at 19 on a sailboat off Nantucket, wind in her hair, arms flung wide, and her great-grandmother's emerald ring, the only jewel she had never let anyone else wear. Xander woke to an empty bed and a crumpled note. He laughed. Midlife crisis. She'd be back in a week, begging forgiveness. She never came back. 48 hours later, every network led with the same headline: Senate hopeful's wife vanishes. Mansion sold overnight. Entire Whitmore fortune missing. Emma watched the circus on a cracked television in an $85 a week room in South Shore, Chicago, under the name Claire Brennan. South Shore didn't care about old money or Mayflower bloodlines. It smelled of barbecue smoke, gospel music, and survival. It was the perfect place to disappear. She rented a room from Miss Della, paid cash, no questions. Then she walked into the neighborhood's crumbling free clinic and offered her skills. The doctor looked like he hadn't slept since residency. Tall, kind eyes, tired shoulders. He said, "I'm Elijah Vance. You a nurse?" "No, but I can make order out of chaos. Put me to work." He handed her a stack of charts. "Welcome to the front lines, Claire." She stayed. She learned how to stretch one box of bandages into a month, how to charm drug reps into donating samples, how to hold a crying mother while her child got stitches without lidocaine. She learned every name, every story, every scar. And she met Lena, 8 years old, huge, curious eyes, fading braids, a laugh like breaking sunrise. Leukemia, the kind that costs more than most people earn in 10 lifetimes. Emma looked at Lena, coloring with 3 broken crayons, and felt her heart crack open and rearrange itself. That night, she sold her great-grandmother's emerald to a jeweler in the Loop who asked no questions. The next morning, she handed Elijah an envelope thick with cash. She said, "Start the treatment. No child dies because I once had too much." He stared at her for a long time. "Who are you, really, Claire Brennan?" "Someone who finally learned what money is for." Something shifted between them after that. Not romance yet, just recognition. 2 people who had been broken by different machines and refused to stay broken. Then the past began to hunt her. A phone call mentioning the name Harrington, a blurry photo from a block party fundraiser landing on Xander's desk, a black Range Rover with Connecticut plates prowling the streets. Emma saw it one afternoon and ran, alleys twisting behind her until her lungs burned and the car was gone. She came back shaking, but she came back. She had built something here. She would die before abandoning it. The truth unraveled in pieces. Elijah discovered who she really was one sleepless night. Old hospital files resurfaced, his own signature on prescriptions for Caroline Harrington's private patients. Caroline herself appeared one rainy evening, trembling, carrying secrets older than Xander. And Lena, sweet, fierce Lena, might carry Harrington blood through a lineage too cruel for fiction. Worst of all, Emma's body was failing her. Numb fingers, dropped cups, the ALS diagnosis delivered a year earlier in a Park Avenue office where the doctor spoke of dignity and managed decline. She had walked out that day and never looked back. She poured every remaining day into an abandoned warehouse she quietly bought, turning it into the Claire Brennan House, a shelter, clinic, and safe harbor for women rebuilding from ash. When Xander finally stood in the courtyard, thinner, older, eyes wild with desperation, she looked down from the balcony and felt nothing but pity. He offered deals, threats, tears. She handed him a letter and walked away. That night, she and Elijah lay fully clothed in her narrow bed, listening to each other breathe. She whispered, "I'm scared." He answered, "I know. I love you." He kissed her forehead and said, "I already knew." Morning came soft and gold. Elijah stepped out for coffee. When he returned, she was still, mouth curved in the smallest smile, red thread bracelet Lena had tied around her wrist months ago resting over her heart. She had slipped away between one heartbeat and the sunrise. She left letters for everyone. To Elijah, thank you for showing me gentle men still exist. Keep the light burning. To Lena, write your story, little warrior. The world is waiting. To Miss Della, you saw me before I saw myself. Every cent, every trust, every share irrevocably transferred to the Claire Brennan house. Her ashes were scattered beneath a young almond tree in the courtyard garden. Lena waters it every morning and says the blossoms smell like summer on Nantucket. 6 months later, a manuscript appeared, bound in simple brown paper. Title in Emma's handwriting, My Husband Said I Disgusted Him. The story of how I stopped believing him. It became a wildfire,